What is going on, everyone? AP over here at Ron Pierce Sports. Bringing back, we got the OG show Tuesday night, a little bit different. PGA DFS and bets with me, Snyder, and Uncle T. Uncle T is he's going to be joining us, I think, in 3 weeks. So until then, we have Snyder and I. We have a few special things for all of you, and how we're going to do the show. The format is very much going to be very similar to what we've done in the past on these Tuesday night shows. We're going to talk quick course preview, but then we're going to go tier by tier, talking about all the golfers that we like in each range. And then we're also going to talk about bets like we always do. That is why it's called DFS and bets. I'm AP. This is Snyder. Snyder, let's bring you in, my man. We haven't actually, before I bring Snyder in, Snyder, you got to wait one more second. So if you saw my tweet, I need all of you, and this will be for your benefit, so just bear with me. I need you to tell me in the comment section below, not the YouTube chat, the comment section below. I'm going to remind you guys and gals a few more times as well. Who is going to win all four majors? So each person, Scotty Scheffler or, Rahm or whoever, maybe not John Rahm, Justin Thomas, maybe. Who's going to win all four? So Masters, PGA Championship, the U.S. Open, and the Open Championship. Now, the kicker is I'm going to give out a $200 ticket next week. Whoever is closest to me, and I'm going to go through who I think is going to win next week. We're going to debut that next week. Got my handy notepad like we always do. Whoever's closest to me is going to win. And I'm also going to buy you a little RPS swag package with that. So all you got to do in the comment section below, tell me who you think is going to win each major, all four. And you got you're then going to, whoever's closest to me is going to win a $200 ticket for, like this week, it's $30K up top. And you're going to win RPS swag, all on me. So do that. Very, very simple. And you'll be in the drawing, and we'll talk about it. We'll announce the winners next week. And then here's what we're going to do. We're going to do some type of contest each Tuesday. That's going to be the thing where it's a good mojo Tuesday to get everything set up straight. Now, Snyder, let's bring you in, my man. We have not talked since Sunday, since the Chiefs got it done against your Ravens. I know this is a PGA show, but we got to talk a little bit. I mean, we haven't talked since then. We're still friends, right? Hopefully we're still friends.
Yeah, it was just a complete disaster, I guess is the best way I would put it. So many mistakes. I mean, the Chiefs have been there so often. They're just cool, calm, and collected, while the Ravens were making dumb mistakes, and it ended up what costed them. That flower sequence was definitely brutal there with the penalty, and then the turnover on the next play as he was reaching for the goal line. But it is what it is. Excited for Pebble Beach, though. We've got a fun event here this weekend.
Yeah, very good. Colin T, I mean, it should be you should be able to comment in there. I mean, I'm going to be in shambles if like comments are turned off, but I'll double check behind the scenes here while we're doing the show. If anyone else is having issues commenting, let me know, and we'll make sure that you're able to do so. Snyder, yeah, I mean, it was a tough going for the Ravens. The Chiefs came out very aggressive. I was concerned there in the second half. They let off the gas a little bit, and they left the door open. And you can't do that at this stretch, especially in the Super Bowl too. So I wish they would have stayed aggressive. I thought Mahomes was very efficient and good. But again, I digress. We're going to have a lot of time to talk about that and to talk about the Super Bowl coming up. Lamar, he's going to be there. He's going to be there again. You guys are going to be in good shape. The only downside is you're going to have to deal with my guy, Patrick Mahomes, for a while. So that's kind of unfortunate. But I think Lamar and the Ravens are going to break through. So let's get into it, though. We got Pebble Beach. Golf has been awesome for me. We're going to do a little screen share here in a little bit. This week, I'm going to pull up our tournament numbers and note sheet, and I'm going to go over what that is. Next week, we're going to pull up SaberSim. So again, the theme of this, we're going to do some screen share. We're going to bring up some content, some tools, and we're going to talk through it. But we're going to keep the format the exact same, going tier by tier. First, though, Snyder, give us a course breakdown for this week at Pebble Beach.
Yeah, we're back here at Pebble for the Pro-Am, but it's an elevated event this year, meaning they've only played 2 of the 3 tracks they usually play. It's going to be Pebble Beach and Spyglass will be the 2 courses they play here. With the Pro-Am, it's only going to last the first 2 days, and then it'll be just professionals on the course throughout the weekend. We have some interesting weather to maybe monitor as the week goes on, but still plenty early for that, so stay tuned for Discord for that. Pebble Beach is one of the best courses in the world with such amazing views here. This par 72 measures 6,972 yards. Tiny greens here, measuring only 3,500 square feet on average. They're going to be rolling at around 10.5 on the centimeter. We've got the POA back here again. So we know putting inside 10 feet is going to be tough here. It's going to be higher variant here. So don't be tilting all that again this week. The rough here is not too bad. It's only 2 to 3 inches here. This is a pure second shot track here with 116 bunkers littering the property, and some of these can be pretty nasty. So I think scrambling should get a slight bump here as well. They've had a wet winter here, so I think we should see the course on the softer side of things this week again. So you should be able to attack these smaller greens. The fairways here measure right around 33 yards wide on average at 275 off the tee, and then right around 29 to 30 yards at 300. So more attackable off the tee than we saw last week. We usually see the winning score somewhere around 18 under par here this week. Some key stats we're looking at this week: strokes gained approach, around the green, scrambling, off the tee, putting with an emphasis on POA, and then opportunities gained as well.
Yeah, very good. Right to the point. Snyder, I do got to ask before we get into what happened to your boy Morikawa last week. I mean, it was hurtful. He was one of my flag plant plays and did not get it done. And I've had a really good start for PGA this season. But, I mean, what happened with your guy last week?
It was rough to see there. I think I hit about everything besides Morikawa. It actually cost me quite a bit. I was on Pavon pretty high. We were on Hogard pretty high. But, yeah, Morikawa started out good, but just a bad draw there as well. You could tell that, like, Theegala and Morikawa were both about 50 yards ahead of Cantlay most of the time. They're waiting for him and his 19 practice swings he takes every shot and stuff. But, yeah, it's a time to bounce back here. He's back up practicing on Sunday, so hopefully we can have a good year. Last year I was cashing my tickets at the Warhorse, and I was kind of surprised. I didn't think I had that good of a week, but the bet side was really good there. So we had Pavon also live. We hit that on Saturday night, or it was either round 2 or round 3. I put that in the Discord, and we hit that. So that was good.
Yeah, the bet side has been crushing. JBC, managing the premiums over there, and absolutely just crushing it. I mean, I'm really, really excited to see where things are heading. And Andy Lett, too, joining the golf team, obviously posting his bets, you posting your bets. RPS 15% off your first payment over here at Run Pure Sports. We also have a golf-only package. Come check it out. Come sign up. I know we're going to be putting you in a very, very nice spot if you sign up with us. We have a ton of content. I'm going to highlight one of our pieces here in just a little bit. Also, while you were going over the course preview, I did look, and I wasn't able to comment either. So I have no idea what's going on. If you're not able to post a comment, reply to the tweet that I sent and just post your winners right there. We're going to get this all figured out. Maybe there's a settings issue. What's up?
It's allowing me to talk in the YouTube chat.
No, but I wanted the comments, not the YouTube chat.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, I know. That's where everyone gets tripped up, too. And that's why I was being very, very specific. But we'll figure it out. Do it on YouTube. Do it on Twitter if you can. I want to give away some money, and I want it to be interactive. So we'll get it figured out. If you're – no, my guy Dunkel did not block everyone. I promise you that. But yeah, reply on Twitter. Reply if you're not able to leave a comment below. I do want to give out. Hey, look, the less people that comment means that your chances are that much greater to get this done. So let's get into this and let's go tier by tier. Let me bring up a piece of content that I was talking about. So this is I love this sheet, and shout out to Big T. He was kind of the brains behind building all of this. If you're a multi-entry player, this is like where I live. I love seeing this. It shows me everything that I need to see, along with Snyder, your playbook, your cash player pool, and then right here you can kind of fine tune things if you're a multi-entry player as well. I use all of those and I bring it all together to help really dial in my player pool. And so let me just explain this real quick. We got the players top to bottom sorted by price, DraftKings price. We have their odds, value, projected ownership, and then this middle section is going to be our multi-entry, certain players over here are multi-entry player weighting. So for me, and I do got to add some context for me, I don't 150 max. I'm typically right around 50 builds or less. And so I tend to take a lot more stands. So you're going to see a lot of 50% plus by me on certain golfers. And that just means that if you pull my stuff up, I am over 50% on that player. I consider that like a core player that I like to build around. And I like to get very aggressive, especially in no cut events too. So I'm going to have a very, very aggressive player pool this week as well. But let's get into it, Snyder. Let's go tier by tier. We always start with the 10K and up range. Then we go 9K, 8K, 7K, etc. Let's talk about this 10K and up range, Snyder. Xander Schauffele up to Rory. What are you doing with this range this week?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting here, this 10K range. It's interesting to see where the ownership kind of comes. I think we're going to see Scotty and Rory kind of get capped here and kind of get squeezed out with the price tag here and everybody wanting to jam these 9K guys in. So I think I'll be looking to play one of Scotty or Rory. Or I haven't built any teams, so I usually don't do that until later tomorrow. But I mean, it's hard to argue against either of these guys. I mean, Rory comes off of a T2 and a win over in Dubai. He generally smashed down the stretch of 23. I think one of his biggest advantages, though, is the driver, as the putter doesn't always cooperate with him. I think this track doesn't really set up as a big bombers track, like a place that Rory would dominate. He did finish top 10 at the U.S. Open, gained over 10 strokes total in a much tougher setup than he'll see this week. Best player in the world, hypothetically, he warrants a serious look, just like Scotty. But Scotty's favored over Rory, minus 125 this week. He missed a cut here at the U.S. Open back in 2019, but he's so much leaps and bounds of a better player than he was back in 2019. So it just comes down to the putter with Scotty, like we always see. I mean, we know he's probably going to lead the field in strokes gained tee to green like he does most weeks. He's going to be in play for a top 5, top 10 play here, as always. So it'll be interesting to see if I can get to one of these guys. I would rather play him over like a Hovland too. I don't know if I'm going to get there. I'm going to be off of Xander at that price tag. I think the guys in the 9K range are just as good as him. So I'll be off Xander. And it looks like he's going to see some ownership. I think Hovland and Xander, a lot of these guys are going to be within 3 to 7% of themselves. So there's really no ownership to really speak of, unless we see like Rory and Scotty kind of get squeezed up top there. I think Hovland's fine. He did kind of figure out his around the green game as the season wore down last year. The around the green game definitely got better. It'll be a question here though. I mean, you miss these small greens, it's going to be some tough up and downs around these places. So kind of off of this 10K range. I'm going to play one of Rory and Scotty though. And then I think I'm just going to jump down to that 9K range. I would lean Scotty as my top play as usual, though, here in the top 10K range and up.
Yeah, really good comments. You know, another thing too, you know, obviously a lot of talk is going to be on the weather and the winds specifically, but that's not really going to factor into a lot of my decision making early on, because we have no control over that. We have no idea who's going to be where on the leaderboard. And so it's kind of like it makes no sense. But I mean, if you haven't heard, there's 40 to 50 or 30 to 40 mile per hour winds projected on Sunday. Absolutely insane. But But there's nothing we can do about that now. It's not like it's going to be a round 1, round 2 type of thing. So when I look at this top tier range, there's just so much win equity. I mean, look at the odds up in this range. I always tend to lean Scotty Scheffler. Just, the dude is an absolute beast. The problem, though, the putter. The day he dials in his putter is the day that we want to get as heavily on him as we possibly can. And I mean, it's been a little shaky. My preference, especially on weeks like this one, is I want a narrow player pool. I want to take some stands. And so what that forces me to do is really eliminate certain players up in this range and go heavier on others. And that for me is Xander Schauffele out of these three. So it's also, I do see ownership kind of spreading around. I like the builds also. And again, I haven't dialed in my player pool or anything like that yet. This is kind of high level analysis. But again, I think there's a lot of really nice builds that you can make where even if you fade this 10K and up range. But for me, in making a stand, I really want to get overweight on Xander. I like how he's playing right now. Just look. I mean, this is one of the other reasons why I have a ton of interest in the sheet. You can just see the performance there: 10th, 3rd, 9th. He's dialed right now. So for me, up in this range, I'm going to have a lot of Xander. And then I'm not sure, like, I'm always afraid to like full fade Scotty Scheffler. Like, I can fade Rory this week. I can fade Hovland. Scheffler just has so much win equity week in and week out. I rarely full fade him. I usually have a little bit of Scotty. But right now, as it stands, it's Xander in this range for me, followed by Scotty Scheffler. And then I think Rory and Hovland are going to end up being my fades. Let's get down to the 9K range, Snyder. I got my boy JT down in this range. I think he looks good. I mean, come on. Anyone that's familiar with the show knows that I'm a huge Justin Thomas stan. But again, I think he looks dialed. I thought he was putting in an insane amount of work, especially during the swing season. And he backed it up with a really nice performance a few weeks ago. 3rd place finish, was live to win. And that week, I almost lock buttoned him, and I had a nice 200K sweat that week. I ended up falling a little bit short, T6, and I think it was Eric Cole. Yeah, Eric Cole, man. I'm gonna get tilted thinking about that guy. But all I needed from him was like 3 or 4 under for the round. I think he finished round 4 even par, and it's like, come on, man, on a easy course. Come on, Eric Cole. Snyder, talk to me about this 9K range.
Yeah, I think your guy is definitely fully dialed here. It looks like he's back to his old ways. They're entering off 5 straight top 5s. That round the green game has been great. I think that's going to be heavily weighted in some of my models with these tiny greens. Gained over 12 strokes total at the Amex. So I think JT is right there. I think I would rather play JT over Xander, to be honest with you. I think JT actually has more win equity than Xander. Xander's only won once stateside since 2019. So I think I would rather play JT even over like Cantlay or Xander. And then Spieth's going to be a talking point. I think a lot of people are going to want to go there. The course horse entering in good form as well. He generally plays this event with a much weaker field, though, than he'll see this week. So I think you need to take the course history with a little bit of a grain of salt, as most of these people generally don't like to play this event because they don't want to play a 6-hour round and such, but that kind of feeds right into guys like Spieth and Cantlay. They just love that stuff. So I'll be off of Spieth, I think, this week. Max Homa, he's a popular option as well. I think a lot of people are going to look to jam, 3 to 4 of these 9K guys in there. Homa needs this event to complete the Cali Slam there. He generally tends to putt really well on this post surface. Great scramble around the green, guys. So the irons were just a little hit or miss last week. Never really got any momentum going, but he still finished T13. I think he's a strong option this week as well. And then my guy Morikawa. I mean, we're coming off of some flop leg here, hopefully. When you think second shot track, I mean, Morikawa is one of the first names that comes to mind. But like Scotty, though, it always comes down to the putter. And I'm kind of hoping this bumpier, tougher POA here kind of helps mitigate his poor putting skills. I think we're going to see many golfers missing putts inside 8 feet, so it won't be only Morikawa this week. He played strong here at the U.S. Open back in 19, gained strokes everywhere besides off the tee, which is usually one of his strong points, and he's gotten much better off the tee since that performance. So he won his first major here in Cali, so I think he's a good play. I hope a lot of people jump off of him after last week's debacle, and he's minus 135 versus Spieth in the betting market. So definitely like Morikawa and Hama, and then probably JT as my top 3 guys in this range.
Did you just call him Hama?
I think I said Hama.
Hama? Max Hama. I like that. So, okay, you got me, just remembering about the bumpy POA here. That is a nice, just going back to our guy, Scotty. I'm always looking for reasons to play Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
What else is there to say about Scotty Scheffler? But it's a good point. Obviously the POA surface hopefully makes things a little bit easier, especially for bad putters. I mean, I guess the theory behind that is just if it's more difficult for everyone else, that's just going to benefit the guys that are not as confident with the flat sticks. So I like that narrative, and I'm trying to make this sheet just look a little bit better. I hid the player pool section, but again, if you remember and you pull the sheet up tomorrow probably midday or later in the afternoon, you're going to get all of our player exposures. So Big T, myself, Wiley, and in the crew. So all the multi-entry crew there. In this range, though, 9K, I mean, we all know who I'm going to like here. I'm committing to Justin Thomas. I love what I saw. He backed it up. That first event looked really good. Followed up with what I thought his swing season. It's not like he played a ton of events, but I thought he looked really good. And the other thing with this track, here at Pebble, I like ball strikers. And thinking back, like when we're just talking about punts, I just always remember like these iron players, like your Chesson Hadleys. I think it was the U.S. Open. Like he fared pretty well when it was here at Pebble. I like the ball strikers, guys that are good with their irons and can hit these greens. And I like what I see with Justin Thomas right now. I think he's dialed. He's also when you think about Pebble as well, small greens, you're going to miss a lot more of these greens, and it's going to bring you around the green game much more into play. And that's what's carried Justin Thomas for a while now. His around the green game has been phenomenal. We saw that over the last few events that he, at the Amex T3 was very good around the greens and, overall. So Justin Thomas for me, my favorite, obviously my favorite in this range. And I'm still stuck on Colin Morikawa, man. It's a flop leg. It's a bounce back spot. Not going to have to worry about missing a cut here. And like Colin Morikawa, Justin Thomas, the two guys that I have a ton of interest in. Patrick Cantlay too. Xander Schauffele's good buddy. I have some interest in him as well. My one goal is I got to make cuts in each one of these sections. I'm really keen on just having a tight player pool, a very concentrated core that I'm trying to hit, from an optimal standpoint. And it forces you to make cuts. And so Ludwig Aberg kind of going to be that I'm going to make a cut on him. He's a beast off the tee, but when it comes to iron play, from what I've seen, it's just hit or miss right now. And I have these other guys as kind of a tier ahead of him. I think he's going to be an absolute stud, but I don't think this is going to be the event for me on him. So I'm keeping things simple in this range. And again, if you do fade the 10K and up range, I think that you could start your builds in this range too. Cantlay, Jordan Spieth, Homa, Morikawa, Justin Thomas, a lot of really, really high quality elite names. And but for me, I think knowing that it's like these guys aren't going to be faced with missing a cut. Maybe ownership spreads out, or maybe getting higher on a guy like Scotty instead of just starting with this balanced type of build is going to be the different path. So again, using SaberSim and running builds, using projections, our projections are loaded in there. You can combine ours with SaberSim's. Run some test builds. Run some what Rubio and I call, and we're going to do this next week, Snyder, when we're pulling up SaberSim. I call them base builds. And basically what I do, and I try to, for golf, it's always tougher. For NBA, it's easy. we know what the best plays are, and we can run the builds, bump up those, the best plays and the projections on them, and we can get an idea of what the projected optimal is going to look like. A little bit more difficult in golf. How I do it is I like to see who everyone's on. I like to see who, a lot of the cash plays. I'll pull up the cash chart and I bump those guys up, and then I run my base build off of that just to get an idea of what roster construction's looking like. That's definitely something I'm going to be doing this week. But to get back to going tier by tier, for me in this range, man, Justin Thomas, my guy, followed by your guy, Colin Morikawa, going to be my two favorites in this range. Talking about bets, are there any matchups that you like just to kind of throw a curveball your way when you're looking at the 9K and up range?
I would probably I'd probably go with Scotty over Rory. Rory generally doesn't, I don't think he's going to play as well here this week coming off those two events. I would lean Scotty minus, you can get Scotty anywhere from minus 115 to minus 125, depending on where you're shopping at. And then I like Homa over Cantlay. It's basically pick 'em right there, minus 110, minus 110. There's one spot out there, Heritage has Homa at plus 100. So there, I think a lot of these 9K range guys. So I think, like you said, it's all going to be, within like 16 to 23%. I think everybody is going to kind of just get spread out into like a little range like that. But I think those are the main bets there. I would take JT over Aberg too. I don't think this is an Aberg course.
Wait. What's the odds between those two? Because I'm gonna have to go hammer that.
Yeah, JT currently is minus 115 at most places over Oberg. So I really like that. Is it
Aberg or is it Oberg? I think it's Oberg, but screw that. He's got an A in his name. I'm calling him Aberg, man.
Yeah, the CBS people were calling him Oberg, and some people call him Aberg. I don't know what's right.
Yeah, the CBS people are probably correct, and yeah, so we'll side with that. But we don't care on the show. Aberg is his name for me. JT, again, I might be a little overconfident in Justin Thomas, but I like what I saw, and I'm going in on him. So I like that from a matchup standpoint. Hopefully the Warhorse has odds like that, because I'll go hammer that. I'll go right over there and hammer that line. Let me pull this back up. So let's get to this 8K range. Again, another really nice range to live in. Sammy Burns. So going back to the Amex, this is what saved me. And I'm driving home. And I'm having to listen to PGA, and my wife's like, "Why are you listening to PGA?" And I'm just like, "Shut up! Like, don't talk to me." Because things were looking good for me for a little bit. They were looking really good. And when you get those sweats like that in golf, it's like, you can't count your money until it's in your account. Like, especially with golf. And there were guys that were atop the leaderboard, had Sam Burns, and he went double to finish. And what happened with me, I went from sitting in the top spot to them being dead. Like, I was like 50th place, and I'm like, well, this is dumb. And then Burnsies goes double, and I shot all the way back up to 6th place. And so that's golf sometimes, man. And so it can be tilting, and it can be a ton of fun. I think it's one of the best sweats, if not the best sweat that we get in DFS. But talk to me about this 8K range. Sammy Burns all the way down to our boy, Benny On, who's playing some awesome golf right now.
Yeah, we've got a fun range here. We're going to see some ownership here. I think it's going to be pretty much spread out here as well, though. There's going to be a few guys in that 15 to 17% range, but I don't see anything getting too carried away here. I think like Fleetwood and maybe Fitzpatrick are the highest. Benyon probably should be up there. We'll see where ownership kind of trends. I'm going to be off of Burns here, though. His odds keep dropping. He's a dog to Fitzpatrick, so I'm going to be off Burns. I think I'm going to be off Finau as well. I don't think this is quite as good of a track setup for him as it was last week. He missed the cut here at the U.S. Open, was T38 in his only other time here. So I'm going to be off of those two guys. I like the bottom of this range the best. I was on Hogard quite a bit last week. JBC talked him up as well last week. He's definitely playing some elite golf. 4 of his last 8 events, he's finished 1st or 2nd. He was runner-up last week, won the DP World Tour Championship, and then was T7 in Dubai in the event before the Farmers. Gained 1.5 strokes putting last week on this surface. The looks to be getting it done in all areas too. He ranks first in approach from 100 to 125, and his top 25 in putting inside 10 feet. So I like that from Hogard. I think he keeps up the strong play, strong option. And I think Benny On might be one of the best plays on the board. I mean, his outright odds are just dropping. You can get Benny On anywhere from I think he opened at 66 to 1, and he's down to 44 to 1 at Circa and 47 to 1 at Penny. So I think Benny On is a very, very strong play. So he's a minus 145 favorite over Hideki as well. Ended 23 strong with top threes.
He's a favorite over Hideki.
Yeah, Hideki, our guy Hideki. He's a minus 145 favorite over Hideki. So I
got to interject real quick, Snyder. Like, my story and why I love Benny On is when I was first getting into DFS with PGA DFS. This was what, 2017? Like, one of my first big wins or decent sized wins. I mean, gets you hooked. Was a Benny On type of lineup, and so ever since then he's had a nice place in my heart. But I love Benny On, and I like him favored over Hideki. He's come a long way, man. I love to hear that, but keep going.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's an elite ball striker. Just comes on the flat stick with him as well. He's been playing great, though. He ended 23 strong, and he's off back-to-back top 5 finishes in Hawaii on the Hawaii swing there. So, yeah, I love Benny On this week. I think he should be priced quite a bit higher. I mean, he's got better odds than a decent amount of guys priced ahead of him. So, big in on Benny On, and then Hogard would be my next favorite in this range.
I gotta always go up here and look. All right, so yeah, course history and recent form, I believe, or no, it's opposite. So when I course history first, then recent history after that. Let me get this back up there. Yeah, so for me, I just, when there's probably a high probability that Benny On, with how he's playing right now, is going to be kind of a flag plant staple of mine. So, and it's backed further, like what you can do. And, just going back through the years, thinking about our content, I know Big T is really big on looking at matchups and stuff. I love doing that, especially when you're deciding between a few plays. And just hearing that Benny On is favored over a guy like Hideki Matsuyama is massive. It's massive. It's very telling. And you get a slight price decrease too. Obviously, I'm a Benny On fan, and so it makes it even easier. But that's really good to hear. What was your thoughts though on Hideki? Are you playing him this week or not? I was messing with some things and I missed it.
I don't think I'm going to get there. I would rather play Fitzpatrick, but I think Hideki is going to come in under 10%, which Fitzpatrick's probably going to be at least 15%. But Fitzy's another guy with great odds. He's 39 to 1 to win this. The market's kind of moved against him a little bit. He opened at 33 to 1. He's 39 to 1 at Penny right now, but he's just a great option. I mean, Fitzpatrick is like the cash play. If you want to play it, he's going to be like one of the cash locks, I think, this week.
I know we're bouncing around a little bit, but Phil, you bring up a great point. Do you remember that round? It was at the what was it at?
It was the
Players Championship. Players Championship, right?
Like 30 wins.
And JT went what? 3 under? 3 under? Oh my gosh. I mean,
everybody else is shooting in the high 70s, and JT goes out there and shoots like 69 or something.
And sometimes, like, I feel like I've been running really pure. I mean, if you just think about the Chiefs had a disastrous season. Like, they were not good. And it was hard for me to like try to argue for them outside of just being a huge homer and believing in Patrick Mahomes and the defense. But I'm just like, man, I'm running pure right now. I might as well just stick to my guys. Sometimes you got to do that. When you're running pure, don't deviate from what's working. And JT is going to be working. And I'm curious about the other JT Poston that we're not quite there yet. So for me, looking at this range and thinking about the weekend, which is going to be really important. Obviously, you need your guys to be in a good position anyway, but then it could be a spot to where, and we're speculating, we're assuming a lot. I think if there is going to be 40, 50 mile an hour winds, I don't see how they play. if the ball is moving on the green, they would push it to what, Monday, right? I mean, we saw that happen before. It doesn't happen very often, but that's kind of what you're thinking too, right, Snyder? If it's like that bad where the balls are moving, oscillating on the greens, they're not going to be able to play, right?
Yeah, I think like on Sunday, there's already talk of a Monday finish, which last year we had a Monday finish at this event. So it'll be interesting to see there. I think there could be a potential, maybe a slight advantage there. If it's going to be really bad, like on Friday, I think it is. I think I would rather have my golfers being on Spyglass that day. It's a little more protected by trees. There's no trees on Pebble. It's just you and the coastline there. Spyglass is a little more protected by some trees and such. They're both going to play tough if it's that windy, but I think I would lean to like having my guys on Spyglass. I think if it came down to like a tiebreaker or something.
Yeah, that's very good. And the thing about weather too, it's so hard to predict. Yeah. And I do think that most people, I think it's almost swung the other way, and people it seems like the field sometimes analyzes the weather type of stuff. And when we're on Tuesday talking about winds, it's a forecast. And, living here in Nebraska, we know like there'll be times where they're calling for a foot of snow and we get, nothing. We get 2 inches. And so things can change, but we do finalize a lot of that Wednesday night. We're in the Discord. We're talking weather. We're talking edges. And you can get a really big edge in Showdown as well. Talk to us a little bit about the Showdown product there, Snyder. You do an excellent job on the playbook, core plays around Showdown. And then you can use SaberSim. So Rubio and I, we're going to be doing a show Saturday night where we are using SaberSim. We're going to walk you through our processes. And because we should get some really big contests this week for Showdown.
Yeah, I think we've got the best Showdown content in the industry there. We've got core plays up top. It's going to be myself, AP, JBC, and Wiley's going to have core plays up there. I've got each segment broken down from expensive tier, mid-tier, cheap tier. Generally have 5 to 8 guys. I mean, the value tier, I sometimes go up to 10 guys, but I'm going to have generally 5 to 8 guys in each range. I'm going to have the players, their price, where they're at score-wise, and then I'm going to have player notes on the side. I'm going to have a breakdown for each player, how they're doing, what I'm seeing stats-wise, what I expect going forward the next round. And then at the bottom, after those 3 segments, it's going to be a slate strategy, a little write-up there, some stuff talking about strategy, how to attack that slate, potential weather advantages, weather edges, and then I'll have some fades as well in that section on the bottom.
Yeah, one of the, I talk about PGA being one of the best sweats that we have as far as DFS goes. I would put PGA DFS Showdown up there, maybe even more, especially if you're someone like me that sits there and updates, refreshes, shot tracker, and all that stuff. So when we see the prize pools getting a lot better in Showdown formats, it's always really exciting and a ton of fun. And I know like this is like out there, but like just using my mom loves to gamble. I don't even know if she's going to be watching the show, but shout out to my mom. If she is, she's had a ton of success in golf. She's had 2 big hits. One was NFL. The other one was golf. And then she's had a medium-sized 4-figure hit in Showdown too. So, and only playing like $20. She'll play the $20 and she'll throw like 4 lineups in there. And if that's your strategy and that's what you do, Showdown is great for that. Like embrace the variance, embrace kind of the gamble of it and have fun with it. Like that's the part of this too. I think sometimes we take DFS a little bit too seriously and sometimes have fun with it, play your guys, mix and match, play some lower owned guys, but then use the content over at Run Pure Sports, especially the Showdown content. Snyder is going to give you the best plays, and you're going to have the cores that you can work off as well. I think that's how you get a really nice edge in Showdown. Obviously, if you're a more serious player, you got to be using a tool like SaberSim, our partners, and we have all those packages. So RPS 15% off. Head over to Run Pure Sports. Try it out for a week. Try it out for a month. Test it out. Send me a DM. Send Snyder a DM. If you have questions about it, we will get back to you. Let's get back to this range, though. Where are we at? We're at 7K range.
Did you finish 8K? Or did you talk
I mean, I talked about Benny On. Isn't that enough? I mean, I don't care about any of these other guys. I care about Benny On. Like Cam Young, I'm not like, I don't know, man. Like Cam Young, I want to play at a course where you can just bomb and gouge, bomb it away, gouge. Tommy Fleetwood, knowing that we're going to get wins and weather and scoring could be difficult, I'm always going to have a little interest in Tommy Fleetwood. Sung J M, I don't know. If you want what, like, what is it? If you want 27th place, play Sung J M. I don't think I want that. Jason Day, course horse here, but I don't know if I want to play Jason Day.
The odds are moving against him. Jason Day is at 50 to 5-1. He opened at 40. Finau's at 43 to 1. He opened at 30. And then Cam Young opened at 40, and he's up to 57.
What was your stand on Matt Fitzpatrick? Because I'm intrigued by the price. I think this is a type of track too. You just, an iron player, a guy that knows how to score on tough environments, tougher tracks, and the price tag is really intriguing on Matt Fitzpatrick. Are you on him or not?
Yeah, I think he's a great cash play. I'll have him in the pool. I'm not sure how much I'm going to get to him, but I think he's a cash lock though, as it looks right now.
Yeah, I always love these. We used to call it, I think, the big T value, BTV. I don't know exactly how it's computed, but anytime I see it, I'm usually bumping those guys up. So Matt Fitzpatrick for me, Benny On for me, and that's about it for now. But obviously that could change. And check out my final rankings as well if you want to tail me. Let's get into the 7K range, Snyder. Let me kick it back to you. Oh, baby, I see my boy Sepp down there. A pretty nice range, though, here in the 7K.
Yeah, this is a strong range. I've got quite a few guys I like in this range. I'll hit on a handful of guys here quick. The Postman.
No, take your time. Don't quick stuff. We got plenty of time. I want to know your thought. I mean, we are in the heart of NBA season. Yeah. NFL is just winding down. I'm just now, and I lean on our content, you, Andy, Wiley, everyone over on the golf side. And it is a lot of, like, you got to organize, you got to, plan things out just because NBA is an absolute beast. So take your time, walk through the guys that you're on, Snyder.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to start up top here. I think JT Poston's always in play for me. Enters in elite form too. The putter's been on fire, gaining in 11 of his last 12 events, 2+ strokes in his last 5 events even. The downside to his game has been off the tee a little bit. I'm not too worried about that here, as we're going to see some wider fairways. It's more of a second shot track, so I'm not too worried about his off the tee game here. He's -130 favorite over Keegan Bradley. Gained over 10 strokes at the MX, over 9 strokes at the Sony, and over 6 strokes total at the TOC. So I think the Postman is a great play this week. I'll be overweight on him. And Hostler was a guy I was really heavy on last week. I was so close last week. It's just Morikawa. I pretty much locked him in, and that ruined a lot of teams. But Hostler is definitely a guy I'm going to go right back to this week. He's a -120 favorite over Cole this week. Has finished T15 or better in 4 of his last 5 events, and T30 or better in 7 of his last 8 events. So Hostler's been playing some excellent golf. Love going right back to him. Denny's a guy that his game's trending well after a couple of T10s in last year. He's a guy I'll consider this week. I think you can always look at Denny putts on this type of a course. Nick Taylor missed the cut last week, but he still made 16 birdies and an eagle last week. I believe he missed the cut right on the number. I love his upside. I think he'll be like maybe 5 to 7% owned this week. Opened as a +100 dog to Cam Davis. But now he's getting a little bit of a steam, a slight push there. He's now -102. He won this event back in 2020. He finished 20th and 14th the last 2 years. So definitely high on some Nick Taylor this week as well. Looking at our guy, Mr. Ham, his odds are kind of dropping in the outright markets. He's now 100 to 1 if you want to get there. I think he opened at 90 to 1. The putter's gotten worse in the last 4 events. He's lost strokes putting in 4 straight events now, and it's gotten worse in each event there. So that does kind of worry me there. He's only gained approach in 1 of his last 5 events as well, and the odds are falling backwards. So I think I'm going to be off of our guy, Mr. Ham, this week. I get to play if you want to go there. It's just the the rolling stats are kind of rolling the wrong way for him over the last 4 to 5 events. So probably be off of him. I do like Mr. Cole. It's one of the first guys I think I was one of the first guys on him last week as he was a soldier at I believe it was Honda where he finished like second, like 1% owned or so. I've definitely been riding him ever since. As many people have been on him as of late, though. He was kind of a little hurtful at the Farmers, but he's been an elite before that. 6 straight events of T21 or better with 3 top 5s. His odds are still holding pretty steady there at 66-1 for 7.3K. So he's got really good odds for the price. I think he's a great play this week as well. So I'll be heavy on my guy Cole this week. Kevin Yu was a soldier a couple weeks ago, comes off back-to-back top 6s. I think he's found something with the putter as well. He's gotten better in his last 5 events with the flat stick. He's playing great golf here on this Cali swing, so we got to have Yu in the pool again this week. The guy I look to get overweight on. Pavon was a soldier a couple weeks ago as well, and we live bet him last week mid-round, cashed that for us. But I think I'm going to be off him this week, off of the win. He paid off for us last week, so I think I'm going to leave it at that, kind of go away from him this week. Brendan Todd seems to mesh really well at this track. His results and back that up as well, too. A good iron player who can make putts. He was T2 here last year, gained over 13 strokes total. So I think Todd is a great play at 7K flat. Looking at his number here, he's a decent odds. I mean, nothing great. 131-1 right now at Pinnacle. But I think he's a great option for like a top 20 or something this week.
Nice. Very good. Just a few tips out there. So if you're new to PGA DFS and you want to multi-enter, DraftKings does have a contest that I absolutely love. It's the $5. It's usually 25K to 50K up top. And you don't even need to max it. You could go with 50 builds, $250 committed to that. Obviously, you max it, that's $750. But again, how I like to build my stuff, you can work like pull up the playbook, pull up the cash chart over at Run Pure Sports, come to this sheet, finalize your exposures and your player pool. I'm a finance guy. That's nature, my background. With golf, I look at it as like building like an efficient market portfolio with stocks, high quality, your blue chips, whatever. I think you can apply those same type of things for this when you're constructing your own PGA DFS portfolio. And that's what we try to help you do. Some of the good plays, like Eric Cole, again, he tilted me, and going to take a little bit to get over that. But look, he grades out really well. He ranks 3rd as far as like overall, value from a price to upside, standpoint. Obviously, he's going to be chalk. You can see that right there, 17%. I got him in that range as well, 15 to 19%. The other guy that I have a ton of interest in, just thinking about this course, small greens, iron play, potential wind. Russell Henley really sticks out for me. And I feel kind of like a chalk donkey. But again, I don't care as much about ownership in golf, especially with my style and how I play, because I know I'm getting overweight on 3 or 4 golfers. Like I want them right around 70%. It's just my style, what I do. And it makes it easier from a sweat standpoint too. I know my guys and who I'm on. I don't have to pull up the leaderboard. I don't have to pull up my DraftKings app. I know my guys. I know who I'm on. If they're all doing good, and then outside of my core, I spread it out a little bit. I know I'm going to be up there, and I know things are going to be sitting good. So it's when I play like that, where I go overweight, very, very overweight on 3 to 4 golfers, it makes it easy from multiple standpoints. One, I think it's the right approach, at least for me and my style, because I look at, like Snyder, I look at it not as one individual golf course or golf event. I look at it as what? Like how many events are there in the golf season? 50 something, 40, 50 something.
Yeah, it's about. Is
that too high? How many
like
is it?
41 weeks or something like that.
40,
Maybe
41 weeks. So I look at it as 40 different opportunities to try and hit the stones. That's how. And to do that, I have to be aggressive as well. And so I look at it from a big picture standpoint, not a week to week type of basis. So if I miss, like last week, my core missed. the 2 weeks before that, both of them, I had the nut script. And so that's just how I play. And, I'm already off to a nice start. And, that's just like my style. And and you're not going to see me tilting if my guys end up sucking. I had Colin Morikawa like 75% last week. So when he sucks, I just call you and I blame you, Snyder, since he's your guy, right?
Sure.
Not even Faze and Snyder. So, all right, 7K range for me. Just to button this up, Russell Henley, one of my favorite plays. I'm going back to Eric Cole as well. This is also the range where, since I'm taking such an aggressive stand on kind of my core, I do open it up a little bit. So if a Corey Connors or a Keegan Bradley, if they mix in there, I'm definitely fine with it. Same with like a Harris English. I know he played really well. I believe it was last week. The other guy that I'm considering as a kind of a staple is an RPS hero for a long time now. Helped our guy Big T win $1 million. Brian Harman. I love how this course sets up for Brian Harman, and even with the winds and weather expected as well, I think Brian Harman is going to be a really strong play. So again, I just told you my favorite 3 plays in this range: Russell Henley, Brian Harman, and Eric Cole. That's a lot of chalk. Those are going to be popular plays. But with my style, I can get away with it because is 12% like, I don't know, 15%? That's if I'm at 55% or 70%, it doesn't matter for me. Like I don't consider that chalk. I know in DFS golf it's considered chalk, but look at NBA, look at these other sports. I mean, the ownership that you see is absolutely insane. So again, I think this range is really nice. I'm sticking to a lot of the guys here that grade out very well. The Henleys, Poston, obviously just there under Benny on, Eric Cole, and Brian Harman. Let's get down to this punt range. Let me move this down. Is there actually, before we get into this range, are there any matchups in the 6K or no 7K, 8K range that really stand out for you?
I think I would take Fitzpatrick over Burns. Fitzpatrick's minus 120 at most places right now. And then I don't really see too much else. The odds are moving in Hostler's way over Cole. He's up to minus 120 now. Denny.
That's such a good point too. I mean, Eric Cole, such a good golfer. I know I went on that whole spiel where he tilted me like crazy, but if you got a guy who is trending upwards against someone who's really good, you got to pay attention to those type of moves. So Bo Hostler, definitely someone that I'm going to be looking at a little closer.
I don't see too much else. Sahith is matched up against McCarthy. He's minus 130. No real lean there, though. I don't see too much that I like in this range. Just keep going through. I think Kevin Yu is actually a good play. There's a pretty big steam move Kevin Yu's direction. He opened up plus 100 against Sepp Straka, and he's minus 115 against Sepp Straka. So I think Kevin Yu would be a strong bet there.
Awesome. Very good. Also, I'm a donkey. I was talking to Rubio. Shout out Rubio. I saw him in chat also. You can't comment in the comment section because the live show chat is there. Once the show ends, you will be able to comment. So again, comment there or reply on Twitter. I'm going to compile all of it, and I'll make sure not to miss you. But again, I want to give away some of my cash next week. We're going to do contests each and every week, make this a lot of fun, interactive, especially when Uncle T gets here. I mean, man, Uncle T, come on, man. We gotta hurry this up. We need Uncle T back in here. We need those Uncle T winners. But Snyder, let's finish this up with the 6K range. What do you see down here?
Yeah, I think there's some good options down here. There's some soldiers down here too that you just love to see. Some guys that catch my eye off first.
Do you have the soldiers already picked out, or is that coming out tomorrow?
That's coming out tomorrow morning. I haven't zoned in on them yet. I've got one guy I think I'm going to use, but I need to fine tune that, and I'll get it taped later, and then I'll put it out on Twitter in the morning. Probably right around 10 Eastern or so, I'll have that out. But couple guys that caught my name down here, or caught my eye down here, is going to be Taylor Moore. He's been a soldier numerous times, playing some solid golf, minus that last round with the Farmers, but he was still playing good. He's gained over 7 strokes total here last year en route to a T15. So I think Taylor Moore is a guy I want to keep targeting. I love the upside of Cam Davis here, especially in a no-cut event. I think he can make a lot of birdies, so he's definitely a guy we target in Showdown, and I like targeting him in no-cut events as well. So I'm going to have some Cam Davis. I think Mark Hubbard is definitely interesting here. And then a guy that's been a soldier numerous times over the years, our guy Matt McNeely. It looks like he's finally back and fully healthy. He loves this track. He's finished inside the top 5 a couple times here. He played great through 3 rounds last week. And then the trusty putter kind of let him down on Sunday. He lost over 2 strokes putting on Sunday. But I think he's just way too cheap here for a guy with his type of upside and course history here. So I think Matt McNeely at 6'2" is a very strong play. And it doesn't look like he's going to see too much ownership. Like I'm seeing him like 5% owned right now, which is very inviting, especially if you want to go stars and scrubs and jam a guy like Scotty or 3 or 4 9K guys. I think Mav really opens that up. So I'm going to be heavy on Mav this week. Not seeing too much else that I like down here. You could go to a Brandon Wu if you want. He's been up and down as of late. Did finish second here last year. I think some people will go there. That's fine. Ben Griffin's another high upside guy that I don't mind playing in no cuts. I mean, he's going to make a lot of birdies. Missed a cut last week, but he had two top tens in his last 4 events. So I think he's an interesting guy at 6'4".
You got to be playing Andrew Putnam, right?
Yeah, I think Mr. Putnam's definitely right there. 6'8". He's had a couple good finishes here. He was 6th here in 2022. Had a couple strong top 10s. 2 of his last 4 events have been top 10. Had another top 10 there down the stretch of 2023. So I think Mr. Putnam is definitely a good option at 6'8". Patrick Rogers was a guy I was high on last week. He got there top 10 last week. I mean, he's been playing elite golf too. 9th, 24th, 14th, and 16th in his last 4 events. Doesn't have the best course history here, as it looks like he's missed the cut his last 4 times, but no cut this week. He's going to make birdies. So Patrick Rogers at 6'9" is another strong play, I think.
Yeah, Patrick Rogers too on the West Coast. I always have a little bit more interest in him. Matt McNeely, your guy. I was watching him closely last week too. I love what I saw. He was good in every all main stat categories that we look at, except for approach. But he was good around the greens. These are small greens. Your approach game is going to have to be absolutely dialed anyway. So that's a stat category I'm not too concerned about. Obviously, very familiar with the area and everything. So I love what I saw from Matt McNeely, and he's going to be a guy that I have a ton of interest in as well. So I'm going to be with you on him. Going down here, though, like, don't play the Webb Simpsons and, these donkeys down here, even like Matt Kuchar. There's zero chance I'm playing guys like that. I feel like their name alone will get them over-owned. They're not going to get much ownership at all, but just that name value, the recognition there, I think will lead people to play them. And they're just bad plays. Tom Hogue, I got a little interest in him as well. Putnam that we talked about, I think he's one of the better plays in this range as well. Cam Davis, I'm torn on. Obviously, good driver of the golf ball. Just a little torn on him here. Grillo, I think Grillo's very fine as well. The other thing too is keep in mind what's your strategy. Me, multi-entry player. I don't think there's going to be a single 6K guy that is like I'm extremely overweight on. Yeah. We talked through this range, and there's so many golfers that I can make as a flag plant. For me, it's more about mixing and matching some of these guys in. Andrew Putnam, definitely a guy that I'm going to be mixing and matching. Tom Hogue, Adam Schenk, Kurt Kitayama as a few names, and then obviously Matt McNeely as well. Mark Hubbard, we got that nice BT value, ranks number 6 here. Has some really good course history here as well. Good iron player, and his form looks fine too. For the price tag of $6,300, that form is definitely fine. And it's not like you're not going to need a lot of them. But he might be even a guy that when you think about these builds with the Scotty Schefflers or the Xanders, you're going to need some value to make these lineups work. And he is definitely a fine play that you can make that work. The thing I'll be considering, and again, I don't like to make too many rules. One thing I'll play around with in SaberSim is, do I want to pool all of these 6K guys together and say, hey, no more than one in my lineups? That's going to be something I do consider. But if I were to play two 6K guys with a stud and value type of approach where I'm getting the Scotties or the Xanders, it would have to be one Matt McNeely that I would be looking at, and then potentially Andrew Putnam. That's a combination that I could see working. And is why most likely I won't be making a rule like that. You could still make the case with a guy like Adam Schenk as well. I had one other I was looking at. Tom Hoke is the other guy as well. These guys all bring some type of, I'm not going to say win equity. I mean, I would say, placing equity as well, as far and also the ability to rack up some birdies. So I do think it's a viable approach. Again, avoid the Webb Simpsons, the absolute dust balls down here. Make it a little bit easier on yourself. Is there any matchups you want to talk about down here, or should we wrap this up and get to our winners?
Let me find some down this way. I like Taylor Moore. The market's kind of moving his way a little bit. He opened up at plus 105 against Ben Griffin. He's now minus 103. So I like Taylor Moore over Ben Griffin a little bit.
I like that call.
Not too much else that I see.
The more I think about it, like this weekend's going to bring so much variance, volatility with the potential weather situation. I want stability in my lineup. A lot of people in these type of events gravitate towards that balanced build. I think a stud and punt value with these guys that I think are more quality values is a really intriguing approach, especially in tournaments. Because how much better are some of these names down here than some of these names that we have in the 7K range? I mean, kind of in a vacuum, like I don't think they're incredibly better, especially in a DFS format. So and it's all about trying to find ways to get value without sacrificing too much of that upside. And again, if you get one of these guys up top, if we get a stacked leaderboard where it's Scotty Scheffler versus Xander down the stretch, or a Rory versus, you're going to be insanely different. And if one of these punt values are mixed in there too, in the towards the top of the leaderboard, it's going to be a really nice build path to have.
Yeah, I think like Bo Hostler and Eric Cole would be the two top 7K guys odds wise. Bo Hostler's 59-1, 55-1 at Circa, which I mean he's got the same win odds as like Jason Day and Cameron Young. So I think Bo Hostler is a pretty strong play. Tony Finau's 43-1 and Hostler's 59-1. So I think you're getting a huge price. There's a huge price gap there. I think Hostler is a strong play.
Yeah, he checks look at this. He checks so many boxes of look at the course history, look at the form. We're seeing some ownership on him, but again, 15%, like it's not chalk. No. Come play NBA DFS. I'll show you what chalk is. Go look at the lineups tonight. That's freaking chalk. Like if he's 15% and you want to get overweight, play him 45%. You like there's ways. There's that's why I love PGA DFS, and this is something that I know a lot of us at Run Pure Sports are fully aligned on. So you sold me on Bo Hostler. Just look at the number, look at the metrics right there. I know people out there believe course history doesn't matter. I've talked to a lot of good golfers, some pro golfers, and the guy giving me lessons right now. I mean, I've talked to him about this. Snyder over there at Firethorn. He was what? He was playing. He was on tour 2 years ago?
Yeah, he was on the tour. I think he made a couple of major appearances, but
he played the Open Championship, and I've drilled him with these questions, and he had his courses. He had his courses that he liked, that he was always excited playing, and so I put stock in that. I really do, and I know some people think it doesn't matter. I do think it does matter, and Bo Hostler definitely checks that box. You sold me on him. Any other final comments down here in this range?
No, not much, but I definitely like what you're saying. Just mix and match some of these guys, and just try and find the right combination, because you could have the winner through 3 rounds, and then with this no cut event, I mean, everything can go up or down for you on that final round, which is always fun.
Yeah, do you like no cut events or not?
They're fine. I would rather have a cut though. I generally play a little less volume just because it's more volatile in these no cut events, but they're fine. I'd rather have a cut though.
Yeah, I agree with you on that too. But all right, let's wrap this up, Snyder. Let's get to our winners. Who do we think is going to win, and then a little bit of a long shot to interject into that.
Okay, I'm going to go a little different off the grid here. I'm not going to go with my guy Morikawa, but I'm going to go with a different Cali guy here. I'm going to go with Max Homa. His odds are at 18-1 most places, so I'm going to go with him as my upside guy. And then I'm gonna ride with the market here. I'm gonna go Bo Hostler for 59-1 odds. And then I guess I can add another guy in here if you want to look for a triple digit guy. I think Patrick Rogers at 100-1 is a great long shot dart throw.
I like that, man. I think that's a great call. I got to be a homer, and I got to go. And again, seriously though, like Justin Thomas, I love what I saw. I think this track sets up well for him, just considering his around the green play, how he's playing his irons, and if you can get 22-1 on him, I think that's a great number. Just look at the odds in this section. Obviously, that could have changed since when we put this up, but again, I think the price there from a betting standpoint is pretty nice on him. If I had to go down here, I got to go with my guy Ben-An. I know it's not like that long of a shot, but I love how Ben-An sets up. I'm gonna have like a card of about 5 plays for outrights, and JT and Ben-An are both going to be in there this week. Snyder, any final thoughts or anything else that you want to tell the people about this week, about Showdown? The floor is yours.
No, I think we're pretty much set up. Just head on over to Run Pure Sports. Use that promo code RPS15. I'll have the playbook up. Later tonight, I'll have the cash chart up as well. The core plays will start funneling in as we head into tomorrow night, and then the Showdown playbook. I'll have that up every single day. I'll have the round 1 Showdown playbook up, just like a little quicker version. I don't really have any notes for round 1. It's just kind of what I play off of feel, like the first round leader markets and average first round scores. I kind of compile that into one and kind of put up a smaller playbook for round 1, but rounds 2, 3, and 4 is going to have the full breakdowns with everything. Excited for this week, and hopefully we keep seeing those RPS logos up top.
Yeah, very good. And again, once the show ends, get in the comment section. Tell me who's going to win all 4 majors. You'll be live to win $200, an entry into the $200. It was $30K this week. I've seen it be as high as $50K. You'll be live. It'll be a ticket for that specific contest, plus some swag on my dime. Make sure to do that. If you reply on Twitter, that's fine too. I'll make sure to count everyone that gets their projected winners in there, and we'll bring it up next week. We'll bring it up. We'll bring the comments up, and we'll make sure to announce a winner. But yeah, with that, sign up, use the code RPS15, 15% off. Get in the Discord, man. Snyder, Wiley, Andy, all you guys in the golf chat are absolutely killing it. Get into on the bet side. I think the RPS all-in package is the best. Get access to everything. We're going to help you, set you up, get you set in the right direction. But for that, Snyder, let's get out of here. For Snyder, I'm AP. Let's run Pier this week.